Hello? Testing? Not sure if this is working. Okay, it is working. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope all of you had a good Christmas with your family and friends and loved ones, or just by yourself. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have, um, preferably on video number 36. I want to know your opinion and have you tried any methods that I shared? And I'm surprised to know no one had made a mention of their experience using the method that I taught. I want to know if you actually try to feel your ghost, your gang stalkers. Did you swing your hands above your head or around you when there's an attack on your body, especially when you get headaches? You should definitely try the method. So feel free to just comment and ask me questions, and I will do my best to answer them. I know it's late and it's a one of those live stream that's just kind of random, but I figure I got some time. It's Saturday night, so if you have questions, just feel free to ask me. For the next video 37, I will be discussing and sharing any information I have on the shadow people. And I have footage from my property and also other YouTube videos and the few footage I have on the NFL during the game. So I will show those footage to you in the next video. Now, I have to say the gang stalkers are not the shadow people, but the shadow people are there. So they have something to do with it. But when I'm talking about gang stalker, I'm talking about the ones dealing with lower voice to skull. And when it comes to lower voice to skull, they are not the shadow people. The shadow people, I believe, are the ones attacking our bodies. Because there's two battles going on. One is mental and one's physical. And I believe the shadow people are involved in attacking the body, while the mental part, the lower voice to skull and voice to skull from the gang stalkers, or another entity. Now, my last video, I will show you this entity. So you definitely don't want to miss that. But the next video, I will talk about the shadow people. And the video after that, 38, I will talk about the electric mist. Yes, it's known as electric mist. They are the what looks like fog, but it's not. They're kind of stationary. They don't move. And oh yeah, that reminds me. If you are a TI and you upload videos and you want me to identify these gang stalkers, the ones that attacks you physically, or use your videos as an example, please let me know. I mean, whenever I watch people's videos, if I see these gang stalkers, I can identify them just like that. And I've seen it on many videos of other TIs, other content creators. So if you want me to include you as one of them to identify these gang stalkers, let me know, because I have seen it in other TI's videos. The reason I can do that is because I already know who they are, and it will all make sense to you guys. And I'm not the first one to encounter these beings, but the ones that do encounter them, they might not go through this harassment experience. So therefore, they're not really looking into gang stalking or other things like that. Because there are a lot of targets out there in the world, but not every one of them go through these harassment. And when they don't go through harassments, they don't research about gang stalking, and they wouldn't understand gang stalking is related to their experience as a TI. And mainly because they're not getting harassed to a certain degree as the gang stalking targeted community consider as harassment. Because a lot of true TIs out there, they don't know about gang stalking, and they actually have good relationship with these entities. Now, another thing I want to clarify is, if you follow my channel, then you should know that I talk about spirits. Now, I want to make it clear. When I say spirit, what does that do for you? What do you think of? You think of something like ghosts, paranormal, correct? Now, in another way, it's what is paranormal? Paranormal is something that the science community will not accept or acknowledge as something that's authentic, as something that's worthy of researching. And that is just, it's all subjective in how you interpret these words. But to me, the spirits and the paranormal, it's a form of aliens. Yes, aliens. Now, if I ask you, what are the criteria to be an alien? I mean, what does alien mean to you? You probably think something with intelligent or another life form on a different planet, something that's physically, a life form, has physical body. Okay, that's fine. So from an alien's perspective, when they look at us on Earth, what do they call us? They'll call us aliens. So we are aliens as well. You see that? You see that? You see that interpretation? So we think of aliens as other intelligent life form. Well, aliens from outer space will see us as alien as well. So in a way, if you look at spirits, aren't they an alien as well? That's how I see it. And I know it's easy to get caught up believing, or it's the social norm to accept the idea that, oh, spirits and ghosts are just spirits and ghosts. But in reality, they're actually aliens. Yes, they are aliens. It's something that we don't understand, but they're there. Where I live here on this property, there's lots of ghosts and spirits. They have intelligence and they operate without a physical body, but they're still there. They're a form of an alien. So, one thing that astronomers and scientists, they always study these outer space, or talk about planets, life on other planets. You know what their problem is? One of the main problem for these astronomers and scientists is their mind. It's they themselves sabotage their own mind to not elevate their understanding to include the things that can be seen with the naked eyes. That's the main problem. Of course, there's life on other planets. I know for a fact there are tons of ghosts on Mars because I know how to identify them. Mars is a ghost planet. Yes. At one point in time, I know there's living, most likely living humanoids on Mars, and somehow the entire planet, they all got destroyed. The entire planet is all ghosts. I know how to identify them. I've seen similarity here on Earth as well because I know how to identify them. And these scientists and astronomers, when they think of life, it's got to be, oh, something that's has to be an organism or something that's tangible in the physical that can move or have some form of survival skills, reflexes, intelligence to a certain degree, or even just living like a plant. But they don't look in one area, which is the paranormal and the supernatural. And it's unfortunate that in science they do not acknowledge that as part of science. So so in reality, they're just kicking themselves. Isn't that kind of ironic? Now, in my last video, okay, there's a question, but let me finish my sentence first. In my last video, I will show you these entities. I will show you the gang stalkers. And I will make connection with ancient texts, with ancient depictions. And once you watch it, I'm confident you will understand. And hopefully that will also open the door and bring in awareness in the science community to start researching these supernatural entities. Because the gang stalkers, let me tell you, they are more powerful than us to a certain degree, as in they don't need to sleep. So far, I realize they are immortal, and they have the power to We are thoughts, censored feelings, and they can fly. Okay, here's a question from Jess. Do you believe in the gray aliens? Yes, I do. But, see, that's interesting you brought it up. The gray aliens, and let me tell you something. I will let you know in on a secret. I believe the gray aliens are not the ones you see on TV. Now, then again, I'm not 100% sure, but there's also another form of gray aliens that I believe is more like gray aliens, and they are not what I believe are the ones with the big eyes and big head. And I will explain in my last video. But yes, I do believe in gray aliens. May I ask why you want to ask about gray aliens? Um, if there's really no questions being asked, I think I might just end this live stream. Let's give it a few more minutes. What time is it now? It is 11:07. Wow. So, have any of you tried the technique to slap your gang stalkers? When you're alone, okay, preferably you don't want to do this in front of anybody. So when you're alone and you're private, just go ahead and just relax. Do your thing. And if you feel like there's some type of heaviness around your body or on your chest, go ahead and just kind of gently swing your hand in front of you. Feel that resistance on your palm, on your hand. Okay, it takes a while to get used to. Like if you swing your hand, you might feel like there's something. At first, it might just be something very gentle on your fingertips, on your palm. But when there's a heavy attack and you swing your hand, oh, you'll definitely feel it. You'll feel that resistance. There's something invisible right there, and you can feel it. And as you keep doing it, eventually it just gets less and less because you're actually moving it. You're moving it out of the way. You're moving that energy out of the way. And just try that next time. One thing I also want you guys to know is you can actually trap these guys because they are in the physical. So you ever seen the movie Ghostbuster? How they use these, how they were the kind of like a something that shoots electricity, and then they'll throw out the vacuum with the foot pedal where they step on, and it opens up and it sucks the ghost in. Well, in reality, the vacuum actually works. The vacuum, the actual regular vacuum works. But what you need to understand is once you vacuum it into the vacuum, if there's any vents, depends on what kind of vacuums you have. If there are vents, it will actually go back out through the vents. So it's like you're just going in circles. So it's important to understand you could vacuum them, but then you need to trap them in an enclosed container. Now, on a grand scale, what you do in your room is just not enough. Like you'll turn on the vacuum, it wouldn't do much. Because if you don't open the window, you don't open the door, they're just kind of going in a circle inside the room. So it's like it's not really gonna help. And that's if you try that with the windows and door closed, it's not gonna work. And they're going to tell you stuff like, oh, it's not working. It's going to discourage you to try again. So, because they do that to me, but I know the vacuum works. And the air blower that I used in my last video is really effective because when I point the air blower on my body, I can feel a slight resistance of these things being pushed off. Or if I blow around my head, my hair, I can hear the same gang stalker, but now they're screaming. And it might sound crazy. It does sound crazy. But I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, these are the method that I've discovered, and it works. And what also works is it's water. Something about water, it just like get a spray bottle of water, and just spray your head a little bit. If you have heavy attack, you're gonna feel, oh, actually the attack kind of goes away. So it correlates with that whole Bible thing about holy water. But I believe water in itself is something magical that can help ease some of that harassment and some of that pain. Not all gang stalker, well, not all spirits are bad. So some of the good spirits, they would tell me that where these gang stalkers are located, and sometimes they would tell me, oh, I need to go take a shower or whatever. So just like it's the water, something about the water that can just get them off of you, off of me. But let me tell you though, as soon as they get off of me, they're literally just right next to me. They are just standing next to me, a little bit off in the distance, just out of the reach of the water. But as soon as I get out of the shower, turn on the water, they'll cling right back onto me. So it's very important to remember this. I forgot to mention this in video number 36, and I will tell you guys now. It's very important to take this battle away from your home. Once you realize that these gang stalkers or these evil spirits clinging onto you, they're literally on you 24/7. I don't know how it works, but that's just what it is. And I can identify them, and what it looks like is they're all over your body. They're just all over your body. You can extend your arms, your wingspan, and these things are wider than your wingspan and taller than you. So it's all over you. Like this energy can expand and it can come together and condense. So that's just how they operate. It's like one of their abilities. And I don't know how they do it because, well, they're the paranormal, they're the spirits. But from what I can see, that's what they can do. So after I take a shower, they'll just cling right back onto me. So I come to a realization that they do get off of me, but they can just come right back on whenever they want. So, and when I go to work, I know they follow me to work. That's why people say that they're at work, they can hear these gang stalkers or whatever. Well, because they actually follow you to work. And when you go home, they follow you home. I learned I have to take this battle away from my house, away from home. And once you leave, or once I leave home, that's where the battle's got to be. And in my last video, I will explain what I have learned. It's a good place to take this battle. And I will show a footage of another person that's not, well, they don't realize they're a targeted individual. They don't even realize their spirit's following them. But just by chance, I was able to discover something incredible in the video, which is not even gang stalking related. And for the majority of people watching a video like that, they wouldn't even catch it. They wouldn't even understand what they saw. But I understood what I saw because at that time I already started building up information, this data of what's going on. And I will show you guys that in my last video. But you got to take this battle away from your home. Otherwise, it's just going to be there, and it can get off of you. Can get on one of your family members. That's why there's all the tension, the argument. See, not a TI, true TI actually have a very high intelligence, and we can hear the gang stalkers. While if you have a partner, let's say your husband or wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, they don't know about this. They don't really believe you, but they're just there going through the motion. Well, they are a big target for the gang stalker to play the devil's advocate, because you're a true TI, you're battling these gang stalkers, but your partner doesn't go through it because they don't have that same. They're just not going through what you're going through, but their mind can be manipulated by the gang stalkers. Actually, more controlled and manipulated. See, a true TI's mind is manipulated, but for someone that's not going through it, their mind's more controlled by the gang stalkers. Does that make any sense? So as a TI, and a lot of TIs always have negative thoughts or talk trash about their loved ones or their friends or their families because, well, their loved one, their friends and family are actually being controlled by these gang stalkers to say things to trigger the TI into frustration, or somehow making the conversation not uh, on the same page, if that makes any sense. But that's why it's really important to have positive thoughts, and especially when in your family, you don't want to talk to them about gang stalking because it's just making it easier for the gang stalkers because they already know your family member is not going to want to hear stuff like that. And the more you talk to them, try to get some type of comfort, it's irrelevant because you're not going to get it. Only people going through it will actually understand what's going on. And since it is your own battle, you have to figure it out. There are information on the internet, and you have to be the judge. And that's why I made my series, is because I know that when I started this, I didn't believe it was spirits. And whenever I see spirits, or people, other TI talk about spirits, I wouldn't want to watch it. I didn't care to watch it because I don't know anything about spirits. I don't know anything about paranormal. I have no interest in it. And it took me many years to finally come to realization that there are spirits. And that's why I made my series to build up credibility, because I know if I just start talking about spirits right away, there are many TIs out there that won't watch my videos. And I want to help them. And the best way to help them is to share my experience. And I would say in the beginning of my videos, a lot of my experience are can be related to other TIs. And that's why people like the information that I share. I mean, if you read the comments, you can kind of tell that people are enjoying this information I share. And I have been staying away from spirits until video number 35. So, and I don't know what people think of that because I haven't gotten any comments about other people's if they try out any of my methods or their experience regarding spirits. Oh, it's a mixed batch of comments. But ever since my last videos, I'm still waiting for someone to comment about if they actually tried those methods. And that's one thing that your gang stalkers will not want you to find out. So I already know they will actually try to distract a TI or distract you from wanting to try out my method. But just give it a chance, just swing your arms or if you're getting attacked. Even right now, you're listening to this, just kind of brush your arms around you, like front, back, uh, bottom by the feet, above your head. Just feel that sensation. Get a feeling for that sensation. If you're getting heavy attack, remember to try it because then you will really feel it. Then you have to ask the question, what is it? Why is there all of a sudden a resistance there? An invisible resistance. If you don't want to use your hands, you can actually use like with any object, like a piece of cardboard, kind of just brush through the air. Um, a garbage bag, and then seal the bag. I mean, it sounds kind of silly, but hey, it is what it is. And it's good to have a fan on. So if you're going to sleep, it would be nice if you can have a fan on to circulate air in the room. I mean, that's the truth. That's what I can tell you. I mean, you don't have to try it, but it's up to you. Let's see. There's some question here. Sorry, I was just talking. David Sinclair said you are lying. Hey, you want to join on the chat? I'll send you a link right now. I love a good debate. How do I invite people? It says, what? You are lying. You know it's demons. What is it? Or our feet, your nose, maybe a pickle. Oh, now you are talking about that's in my room. Don't leave out the heater I have. Let's do it. I'm down. Okay, cool. Let's see here. How do I invite? Here we go. Copy. Paste. Here's the link. I never invite anyone into a link before, so I never invite. So I don't know what I have to do. So click on it, and then what happens next? I might see your name tag here, maybe. Hey, anyone can join. If you want to join, there's the link. Just click on it, and actually, I've been wanting people to join.
Hello. Hey.
Hello. Hey, what's up, David?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Good. So okay, let's start. Why are you calling me a liar? Like, what part did I?
Hey, no, there's somebody else here too, I think.
Somebody else?
Okay, hang on, hold on. There's like a lag here, big time.
A lag?
Yeah, it seems okay. Now it's better. Okay, that sounds better. You can hear me now, right?
I can hear you clearly.
Perfect, awesome. So listen, man. Okay, so maybe I jumped into the stream a little bit late. Are you saying that it's not demons that are doing this?
No, I didn't say it's not demon. It is demons.
100% it's demons, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so okay, let me ask you this since I got you on here. Clearly there was a misunderstanding there. But do the people that are getting possessed by the demons know they're possessed? What do you think? I think they do know, and I think that they've willingly taken the mark of the beast. And yeah, and I think that they are a part of it 100%, and they've used their free will to attack us. And it's not because we're good or we're the chosen. Maybe we are the chosen, but we're certainly not good. At least not in my not when it comes to me. Like I was a bad person that woke up to seeing how terrible I was, and then that's when the gang stalking happened. Once I realized I was a monster and that I wanted to get out of that mode, out of beast mode, that's when they started coming for me. What do you think? Do you think that they know that they're being used, or do you think that they just get jumped like bots?
Are you talking about TI or
Yeah,
just
yeah. No. What I'm asking is, do you think the gang stalkers know that there's demons jumping in their bodies or not? Like, do you think that they are willing
well,
hosts?
I understand. I understand. Well, here's the thing. When I believe when you talk about gang stalkers, you're talking about people in the physical, correct?
People that what? Sorry.
People that are in the physical world, like you and
Yes,
I.
people that are in the physical world that get possessed. Yes, I'm asking. Do you think they know they're being possessed and willing to be possessed, or do you think that they're just unsaved and that's
Well,
why they get possessed?
here's the thing. I believe everyone's a TI, and the TIs, like you said, gang stalkers, no, they do not know that they're being controlled.
Oh, that's okay.
But
Okay.
I would say that's about 80% of the people in the world, while the remaining 20% are true TIs that are going through either gang stalking or they're experiencing it, but they don't have a high level of harassment, like maybe you and I, So they don't research into it and they wouldn't see it as gang stalking. They just see it as either they're a medium or they just someone that can speak to ghosts or spirits,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
they're not really getting harassed
So
by.
I've watched your videos. I've watched quite a few of them actually, and never did you ever fully explain who it was that was gang stalking us, and never did you explain how you found out you were being gang stalked. Not once. Which, no offense, but that's pretty suspect because you can go onto my channel and I could definitely show you.
Well, like I said, I will show who the gang stalkers are.
Who are
In
they
my,
then? Tell us, because you have yet to actually officially tell us who they are. I've watched
well,
your videos and you have
here's the thing.
not.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, 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 please, please, please go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. There's a reason why I want to wait till the last video.
Because you don't think they're ready?
Well, because I'm actually in the process of getting a book together.
So
Yeah.
monetary reasons.
Well, not monetary,
Well, that's
because
what
I
it
don't I
sounds
don't
like.
make money. I don't make money off the book
What do you mean you don't make money off the book? How could you not make money off the book? You're
because
writing literature.
I don't expect to be making money off the book.
Well, you should be making money off the book. You should. But you shouldn't be
Well,
making money off the knowledge. That's where the problem lies, right? And
well,
that's
here's
what,
the thing. I This is the way I'm doing things,
yeah.
and I don't think it's fair for you to say I am suspect because
Well, it is very fair because you are very suspect.
really, so you're calling me a what am I
Suspect.
doing?
I'm saying what you're doing is it's either monetary gain or fear or control. It's one of guaranteed at this point after the amount of videos that you've had, it's not for the benefit of others at this point.
Really?
100%.
I just
100%.
I disagree with you.
Okay, why?
Why? Because I do believe I'm helping a lot of TIs out there. But
With
if you read some of the comments, I mean, it's mixed. Some people don't agree, but there are some that actually really do agree.
mm-hmm.
And
I'm one of them actually. I am. Believe it or
okay,
not, there are some things you do that help, but the only reason why it helps is it reaffirms what I already know. You're not giving new information to the new targeted individuals. Nothing at all. You're kind of leading them along with a carrot on a string.
well,
That's
if that's how you feel, then I'm sorry you feel that way.
that's not how I feel. That's what you're doing.
That's what
There's,
you know.
that's what I
Okay.
see. That's what I see as a
Well,
targeted
that's good.
individual. Because
Well, that's good.
I've been what would you call it? I've been in it for long enough. I've passed. I've done my dues. I know what's going on. Clearly, you know what's going on. Clearly, you know what this is. But you've yet to really tell people what's going on. And with the amount of people that watch your stuff and all that, you already have the platform to help the new ones, the next generation of TIs. But you're, I guess, concerned about a book, which is a little worldly, which goes against everything that we're supposed to be about.
Well, I have mentioned the book in a video before.
Okay.
And
And how does that help anything or justify anything?
well, at the same time, I'm actually building credibility.
With what?
And
In regards to how? Like it doesn't make any sense what you're saying right now. You
well,
there's
it doesn't make sense, but to you, but then to me,
oh
it makes sense.
oh okay.
And
So who has the Holy Spirit, right? That's what I want to know. What is your end game with all of these videos? Is it to help people or is it to push a book?
it's to help people and also to push the awareness
Mm.
of
Mm.
aliens.
What are aliens? Explain that definition to me, please.
Well, in the beginning of this stream, I mentioned what is alien to you? I mean, you would
Alien,
probably,
anything foreign from what is normal or natural.
okay. So, from an alien's perspective, what do they think of us
That we're cattle.
or aliens, right? A
No,
form of
we're
aliens.
not. No, because what's unnatural or different to us is not what is unnatural or different to them. They keep themselves secret, which is in the Bible when Yahweh said to them that they will have to be crawling on the ground on their stomachs and they'll have to eat the dust. That was a prophecy which stated that they will have to hide themselves from the world and they will eat the human beings that are on the world. That's what they are. We
Well,
are we are cattle, we are sheep. That's why they wink with the eye and they stick their tongue out because they're mocking us sheep.
well, okay. They could see us as cattle, and that's
Does
a
it?
subjective point of
That's
view.
not subjective at all. That is exactly what's in the Bible. That's exactly what Yahweh says. And anything that contradicts that is New Age, which is really old age paganism. And that
Okay,
is the absolute fact.
okay. They can see us as cattle. That's fine for me.
Really? That's okay
But
with you?
well, do I have a choice?
Yes,
You're
you do.
saying so. Okay, so what do you want me to say about what they think of us?
So, what I want you to do first is I want you to realize that even though you think that you're a COINTELPRO, you're not. You actually really are a TI. Okay? So,
What
that's
is COINTELPRO?
that is what you are. That is the mission that you think you're on.
What is
You
that?
you are thinking that you are here for a worldly purpose where you get monetary gain. That is not what your purpose is, okay? That is
Monetary gain.
that is not who you are.
Well,
Your
I
real
disagree.
purpose is to speak with David Wallace Sinclair right now and to wake up properly. Yahweh said to me one time when I was asking, what the fuck am I supposed to do? What is my purpose? And I was crying because I was new to this whole thing and it was scary. And I opened up the Bible to a random page and Yahweh said, every once in a while, I send a line down to let them know that I'm still here. I read through the entire Bible after that, and not once did I ever find that again. I'm on the second read through, and I still have not found that scripture ever again. That is who you are. You have a platform in the physical realm, and you have an opportunity, but you're too caught up. You're too caught up in physical things, and it's causing some kind of a spiritual block on you. You're so right about so many things because you think that you're the enemy pretending to be good, but you're actually a good person who thinks that they're bad.
I actually
That's what's
think I'm
going
bad.
on. You no, yeah, you think you're bad pretending to be good, but I'm telling you, you're good who thinks they're bad.
Um,
That's what's going on.
I don't really think that way. I
Mm, you wouldn't be thinking about monetary shit if it was any other way.
well, it's not about monetary. Let me explain. I realize that here, the masses, they don't take people seriously unless they have a book published.
That's not true. People are taking me very serious right now. I can
Well,
guarantee you that.
okay. Well, for my research,
What
I
research?
I just see that people usually,
Whoa, hold on. Tell me about the research.
research as in people that actually gets on talk shows, people that can
What
actually
what
give
what
a.
what TIs get on talk shows? Tell me about that.
I haven't seen any TI get on talk shows.
Exactly. So your research is fake. You have no
No,
research. Come
because
on,
I want
man.
to be on a talk show, and that's why I need to
Why
do it.
would you want to be on a worldly thing where they'll just make a mockery of what's going on anyways?
No, they
You,
won't, because I have.
yes, they, no, it
Listen to
doesn't
me.
matter. It doesn't matter the evidence or the proof. You got Ochi, 1983 or 1987 or whatever his thing is, where he's getting stalked by the police all the time throughout all of Texas. And he's not on talk shows, but he has evidence. He's got thousands of videos of him proving that he's being gang stalked by the authorities. Come on, man.
Okay.
You need to realize who you actually are, man. Have you ever gone without? Have you ever gone without? Yes or no?
Well, David, right now I don't like the way you keep interrupting me.
Of course not. Of course
So
not.
please just let me talk first.
Sure. You can talk for the next 5 minutes, and I'm timing it right now. Hey, Siri, put a clock on for 5 minutes. Hey, Siri. Hang on one second. Hey, Siri.
No, you don't have
Hey.
to do that. I'll
Okay,
just.
fine. It's 11:36 where I am. You go. You go until 11:41. Go ahead.
So I want to be able to spread the message, and by having a book published, I'll be taken more seriously. Now, you mentioned another TI from 1983 or with all the police evidence. Well, let me tell you, what do I say in my videos? I'm the best TI. And why do I say that? Because I have information, David, that you don't have. And I will
Okay.
prove it to you in my last video. And I'm feeling confident. I know you will be actually you will be awakened. I will awaken you. And I haven't seen anybody put the information together like I have. And I will show it in my last video. And you will understand why I do it this way. And with the book, now I can actually be on shows and talk about it and spread the message. And STIs, I'll tell you, STIs, we're actually very important people because are you receiving voice to skull or have you
I,
discovered it
I,
yet?
I have received it, but I got rid of them by praying.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And yes, I based on my research, praying do work. And I'm glad you're actually able to do that. So when was the last time you received voice to skull?
Maybe 2 months ago.
And would you mind sharing what they say to you?
Yeah. So I was asleep, and I woke up to a high-pitched buzzing sound, and then I heard a voice say, "Okay, we're in," and the other one said, "All right, let's do this." And then right away I was like, "Okay, guys," because I already knew that they were demons. I'm like, "Okay, guys, come on, seriously?" They're like, "Yeah, seriously, we're in." I'm like, "Hey, change your voice." And the reason why I said that was because I've watched on YouTube other people say that they can change their voice to like Homer Simpson or whoever. But he's like, okay, sure. And he switches it, but it makes it sound like it has like an echo and a reverb. So it sounds like it's some nerd on a computer, you know what I mean, 1,000 miles away, fucking with me using voice to skull. And I said, guys, I know exactly what this is. I know exactly who you are. They're like, oh, yeah, really? I'm like, yeah, you want to see? Watch this. And I said, Heavenly Father Yahweh, please, in the name of Yeshua, Jesus, your son, I ask, get rid of these voices. And instantly, no fuss, no muss, that buzzing sound went away and those voices went away and they were never back again. As simple as
Okay,
that.
that's
Simple
good.
as that.
How long before were you receiving voice to skull?
That was it. That was the only time I ever did it. But other times I would hear whistles. I would hear a lot of whistling, like behind me in the corner of my room where I would be sleeping in my car. For some reason, when I was homeless and I had a friend who would let me stay in his house, I felt more comfortable out of his house sleeping in my car. So I would sleep in my car and I would hear the sound of like a motorcycle or something like that. And it would sound really far away. And then all of a sudden it would sound like it was right beside me. And then all of a sudden it would sound like it was a kilometer away again. Like that kind of thing. And I realized right away that all of these sounds and everything, these are the demons fucking with us.
So when you hear the motorcycle sound, you know there was no motorcycle outside, correct?
Of course not. There was no motorcycle near me. Nothing. Road
Well,
was empty.
that sounds like a similar story, and I do believe your story. That sounds like the story I shared in my 35th video, where there's music coming from the other side of the barn, and as I got closer, the music was further away.
Yeah. Or when you were talking about how you would be grocery shopping and you would hear voices coming from the other aisle, and then you'd go to check and you would talk to the person in the other aisle, but he didn't sound like the voices you heard. Same
Exactly.
same thing. Yeah. So it makes us look crazy because we'll go banging on our neighbor's door and be like, turn that shit down. And they'll be like, what are you talking about? There's nothing
Exactly.
on. Like I'm sitting here reading, I'm studying.
Hello. Well, David. It says David's device. Here, let me. I think he's back now.
You know?
Yeah. What happened?
Probably them.
Okay. And I gotta share something. These entities, they actually do manipulate electronic devices,
Oh, big time. Big time.
especially like I with cables.
Oh, of course, anything at all. What they're capable of doing. Like, well, they're God. Their king is the prince of the power of the air, right? Like it's Satan. So all this technology, like I don't know if you've ever watched how they actually make a motherboard, but they take this motherboard and they put it into this pool of some type of liquid chemical that's just spilling over itself over and over again, and they put this blank piece of, like, I don't know what it is, into it, and when it comes out it's made with a perfect pattern of what a motherboard is, and they say this is just how it works, this is how it comes out every time, we don't design it like this is how a motherboard is made. And that's what they said, and I watched this on how it's made back in probably 2004.
Yes, and I understand. Yeah, there are some things that are just it really makes me think, how can they do that? As in for the internet, like right now we're talking,
Yeah,
it's like, how does that work? How does these information, the voices travel
it's
through the air and through like the computer and to
yeah.
you? Like
Well,
that whole concept is just
it's mind blowing, and you got to think too. Like they'll say a shark. If you get cut in the water, a shark can instantly smell you from like 4 miles away. But doesn't that mean some type of information has to travel from your fresh cut to that shark's nose
yeah,
instantly, right? So
yes.
there's things that are going on in this realm that don't make sense, and we live in a massive illusion, also known as a hologram, and it's all information that's being passed. Everybody thinks it's all information. Information equals weight times whatever, E equals mc squared. It's not true. Turn mass into electricity and energy into uh, energy, and you have what this world really is. There's no such thing as mass. There's just information and energy. And once you realize that, then you realize that aliens aren't extraterrestrial, they're interdimensional, and they're the fallen ones and the demons from the Nephilim. And
Well,
it's all nonsense. And we are cattle, and that's why Jesus Christ himself says that he's the shepherd for the sheep, because we are not the top of the food chain.
we're definitely not on top of the food chain, and I do believe there are those beings are, well, they are interdimensional. I know that for a fact
Mm-hmm.
because based on my evidence, I will show you in the last video. And I think you actually know a lot. And once you see with your own eyes what they are, it's going to connect a lot of dots for you.
I've already seen it, man. I've seen the shadow people. I've seen the orbs in the sky. I've seen it all. I've seen all of it. I've seen this blob of orange. I don't know how to explain it
Yes,
other than that. Just a blob
yes.
of orange. But
I
I've seen it all. But listen, man, like I want you to know, okay? Maybe you're misdirected or misguided, but I want you to know that you are one of us. You really, honestly are. And fuck the book. Fuck the book. Because I promise you, the world already knows. We're the last ones left. We really, really are. When they're talking about Bubba Black Sheep, that's you, man. That's you, and that's me. And you got to say, fuck the world. Let the chips fall where they may. You have a destiny, and they think that it's something that's full of corruption and darkness, but it's not, because you're pulling away from it, and you're you're the person you pretend to be. You're that person. You are really that person, but you've been mind fucked so bad that you think you're pretending to be who you are, but you are who you are. I hope you can understand that.
I you know what, I I can't fully agree with everything, but I do agree with something. But when you say to, don't worry about the book, I
Don't worry about the book, man.
I
It's
understand. I
it's
understand your
you're
where
gonna
you're
you're gonna
coming.
reach 100 people. But
I
what you're
understand where you're
doing,
coming
but
from.
what you're doing right now, this very act that you're doing right now, it'll reach 1,000. This will reach 1,000 people. But you keep on doing what you're doing, and it will be exponential. But writing a book isn't going to do anything because it's going to be suppressed so bad.
Well,
It,
here's the thing. I believe this gang stalking thing. There's so much information behind it. Uh,
sure,
just one video is not enough, and that's why I
no,
break it down into so many videos. And
but tell them, man. Tell them it's all a bunch of fucking demons. What's happening is that you were a horrible person. Not you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying the the viewers. They were horrible people, and they decided one day not to be horrible anymore. And now their master is trying to force them back into the fold. That's what's going on. I was a
like,
terrible person. I was a
I do believe,
terrible person. I was
I do,
horrible.
I believe you, and that's I was a bad person too. Like I explained, I used to get so angry. I grab a knife, one time and stab my ex girlfriend's passenger seat. I was just
Shit.
stabbing her seat, like
Yeah.
I was, I was, trashing her car, all this stuff. I was just to the extreme.
Yeah.
And what really changed was after her and I finished, and I was by myself for a couple months, and my whole mindset just became more peaceful.
You know
And I
that you're loved, right?
oh yeah, yeah, I believe, yeah, of course.
Like for real, like you honestly are. You're loved, man. You're
And that's
not you're not you're not you're not surrounded just by people who hate you. There's us. We're here too. There's us and there's them. Pink Floyd wrote a song all about it, right?
yeah,
Put that
and
song in reverse and you'll have the truth. You're not alone. You're not you're not evil. You're what you are is um you're aware. You're aware of who you are and what you've done, and you're slowly breaking out of that mold. And they're terrified of who you really are. But you have to stop thinking about things like a book or anything that makes monetary gain will never ever ever do what's correct because Jesus himself said, if you want to be saved, sell everything you have and follow me, which means be broke as shit. But
well,
thankfully, we're protected. I have a job too. I don't make a lot of money, but I make enough money that I'm able to talk with you tonight. But I'm saying you need to stop worrying about this world shit and start worrying about the ambassadors that are here from heaven because you are really truly one of us.
well, yeah, I agree. I'm one of you guys. But here's the thing, David. When you keep mentioning monetary, I think you're going a little bit off to the extreme now, because like you said, I got a job. I'm a truck driver. I drive a truck. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I do for a living.
Nice. I'm a driver too. I'm a delivery driver.
And I also do some investment on the side, crypto, whatever. But that's
I
irrelevant.
do that too. I do that too. Listen, we're all the same. We're all
But
a part of the body of Christ. We all do
let me
these
tell you,
things.
like when you keep mentioning the book, and you include monetary, like that's just not what I in my mind. I don't think about the monetary. I don't think about making money off the book. I just want to be able to be on a show, like a more mass media show, where I can actually have the opportunity to actually talk about this.
Let me
And
ask you this.
and
I
they don't,
understand.
let me finish one more thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
With these people on the shows, they tend to at least invite people that have a book published. That's just what I kind of.
Sure. But do you think that they invite people that have books that are based against the destruction of the entire world system?
I mean, there's different shows, and like for instance, like, do you listen to Coast to Coast?
I used to, but then I realized that they were a part of it. They're a shill company.
Okay, yeah, true. But I'm just or TED Talk, you know.
Sure, TED Talk as well. They talk about how global warming is all killing us and blah 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 blah. It's all nonsense too.
But all those people, let me tell you, all those people, they don't know about
No, that's
TIs.
no.
And
They do. Do you seriously think that you and me and maybe 100,000 other people are the only ones that figured out what was going on? Honestly, do you think that, or do you think maybe all these people have been here for a very long time, and that they're fucking with us, and that this is our first time around the sun?
Well, I know the world is controlled by these gang stalkers,
Yes.
and I also know that there are many books. For instance, this recent one's called A New World.
Yeah.
Um, I have to look on my Audible for the author's
I
name.
think I think there's actually a TV series about that.
Yes, the guy's pretty popular, but
Yeah,
he
which
his
which
his
should
situation, his experience was just like a TI. But then he's a great example because what he went through was not like harassment to what most TI would document. It's more like he invited these entities in
that's
because
what I do.
he see the experience as like as something that's great to experience and communicate with something that's have a bridge with this um, otherworldly type of experience,
Yeah.
and that's his experience in his book.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I actually went through harassment. You know, like with gang stalkers talking a lot
Can
of
you can you
trash.
can you tell us about that?
Um, as in what specifically? Because I think
Well, can
all my
you can
videos kind of explain.
how did it start? Like, how did you realize you were being gang stalked?
Well, it started. Okay, good. That's good. You mentioned. I was going to talk about it earlier, but so with my ex girlfriend, and I got my time off for a few months.
Yeah,
I was in peace. Started finding my own peace, and stop thinking about her because whenever I think about her, I would get frustrated.
which is what happens to me with my ex girlfriend. How long
Yes,
were you with her?
5 years.
Fuck, man, I was with 7 years, and it takes half the time you were with them to get over them. So it must have taken you 2.5 years to finally be free of her like mind control.
Um, it was. I mean, it's just so much going on. I can't really just explain in a couple minutes.
I know, I understand that, but that's
And
fine. We're in a podcast, man. You have all night, and I am your brother.
and so a couple of months, of peace and calm, and all of a sudden, got moved into a new place at this property that I'm living on right now,
Yeah,
where I make the videos and stuff.
yeah,
And it was only until I moved here that's when all the gang stalking started.
yeah. So,
Right?
so where you're living, it's some type of Arizona kind of place or something. Like it's
No,
like deserty farmland.
it's just farmland. I actually live in California.
Nice.
Yeah.
I live in Canada's version of California, Vancouver.
Okay. I
Yeah,
always
I actually messaged you once saying, "Hey, do you live here?" Because I saw the mountains and it looked very similar to the. If you see my picture there, you can see that's what it looks like where I live in my picture.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good. I've never
So
been out there, but I would like to go visit.
I feel like that's actually the whole point of everything is for all of us to meet up here. I strongly feel like this is the place. I think this is the New Jerusalem, to be honest with you.
Well, okay. I'm not going to disagree with that, but I don't know much information about that part.
Hmm.
But if that's how you feel, then hey, I'm not
Okay,
going to
so
disagree with you.
so you were with this woman for about 5 years, and then you left her, and you felt some peace. Then you moved to that beautiful place, which is I got to tell you, it's absolutely beautiful where you live. From what I've seen in your videos, gorgeous place. And then what happened? What made you start thinking that people were there watching
Well, just initially it was a feeling because when I first moved here, there was no trees or nothing. I planted all the trees here, and there's no fences, and you can look 360 degrees, and basically anyone can come from any direction.
you? Yeah, I remember you saying that. I remember that.
And initially, when I first moved here, I would start getting a feeling that someone's at the window.
Okay, honestly, can you answer me the truth? Okay, were you doing drugs when the gang stalking happened to me? I was doing drugs at first, but then after I stopped doing the drugs, it actually got worse.
I mean, I was smoking some weed back then,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
not
yeah. It's
alcoholic.
that's what they use. They use anything as an excuse for it to happen because they try to blame it on dementia, right? So that makes perfect sense to me. Okay, go on.
And
You're in this beautiful place, planted trees, and you started to get this feeling like you were being watched. Why did you get that feeling?
it was just why it was just a feeling, a sense like someone's by the window.
What
But
would
at the
you be?
time, I didn't know. At the time, I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah, buddy, when I figured it out, it was weird as shit. I started to notice like there'd be three Toyota Tundras in a row driving past me, all white, or a bunch of cars and all of the headlights were off. And I started looking this stuff up, and I found these videos from Richard Bruce, who was talking about reptilians and shit like that. And my mind couldn't handle it, and I couldn't red pill myself. And I was like, this is bullshit. And then eventually, I came to the conclusion that this is all real. It's really happening. So, so when, like, what made you start
Let me,
start to be
let
like,
me.
this is fucking crazy? Like, what was the main thing where you're like, okay, this isn't normal?
Well, I mean, let's. I was going to mention one thing that I didn't mention in my video, and one what I realized that they are not police because they would.
Stop. Hold on, stop. That was right there. Isn't that is? Explain that to me. Why? What do you mean? You thought once you realized they weren't police? Who did you
Okay,
think they were? Like, tell me that story.
because
That is a perfect story.
they told me they were practically anything. Like I mentioned before, like
The
very
voices.
FBI,
The
DEA, their
but the
police.
voices. You mean the voices?
Yes, remote viewer. Now this is
Yeah.
where I'm getting voice to skull. Okay,
Yeah.
and basically what really made me realize they're not the law enforcement because when I pushed the boundary, I
Yeah.
went and actually picked up some weed.
Yeah.
Okay, and they said, "Oh, as soon as if you leave now, we're gonna be ready to bust you." And it didn't happen.
You tested them. I do that all the time,
Yes,
but I don't hear the voices. But I test them all the time, and they
and
never arrest me.
and they say, "Oh, we're gonna get you while you're driving," do all that stuff. And this was before in California they passed the law where it's okay to own the recreationally
Yeah.
smoke. Okay? So this is
Yeah.
way before that law was passed.
Yeah.
So it was still like if you get caught, you're gonna it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So I pushed the boundary a few times, and every time they would tell me and try to scare me, and I pushed the boundary, and it never happened.
Ever.
And then that's made me realize, okay, I'm like, start to think, what is going on? Because if they're law enforcement and they're waiting around, telling me they're gonna catch me, and they didn't even catch me after I picked up something. So
Yeah.
it's like it just didn't add up. And also, I used to be like strapped everywhere I go because that's the time when I was starting to feel a sense of fear and like things
Yeah.
are happening.
Yeah.
And even when I first thought it was my neighbors and all that stuff, I
Yeah.
would think someone's out there trying to get me.
Yeah.
So I was definitely strapped to even go out in public, even though it's illegal.
Yeah.
But and I was thinking every one of those opportunities, it's for them to give me a felony, but it never happened. So it's like,
When
are they? Are they?
can I ask you can I ask you a question? Okay. When was the very first time you heard a voice that wasn't natural?
Well, at first, okay, when I first moved to this property, I I was getting a feeling that someone was coming around my window, and over a period of time, for months. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
not just like a one night thing. After
Yeah.
many many nights, and I couldn't catch anybody. And that's why
Yeah.
I started, having lights and then cameras and all this stuff, but did never ever catch anyone.
Hmm.
And the first time I thought it was my neighbors from really far away,
I
I would
remember you saying that. Yeah.
I was look on the CCTV, but then so pixelated because it's too far.
Yeah.
But what it looks like a shape of two kids using slingshots because I would hear like a popping sound on the corner of my living room.
Yeah.
So I would look on the camera, and what I can see was kind of make out a shape of two people for my neighbors, and it looks like they were using slingshot. At least that's what I thought I saw, but then I didn't
Yeah.
realize I was receiving lower voice to skull telling me that
Yeah.
those are kids they're using slingshots because
Yeah.
in the picture there's no way I can tell it's two kids using slingshot.
Of
But
course.
since I'm receiving those thoughts, I actually believed it, and
Yeah.
I didn't know it wasn't my thoughts at the time. And
Yeah.
I heard that popping sound kind of correlates with, okay, it could be they're using these slingshots. But in reality, it's so far away. It's like, it's got to be one of those. There's no way a slingshot can actually do that. It's so far away.
From so far away. Yes.
Yeah. But at the time, I thought it was my neighbors. And that would really solidify the thought that it was my neighbor.
Yeah.
So it started to build up these evidence in my own head, thinking it is the neighbors. And at
Yeah.
night, with night visions, I would what looks like a shape of people climbing over, the fence between the neighbors and I. these really like low kind of like a fence, you can just kind of crawl over,
Mm-hmm.
and I would getting the thoughts that my neighbors would go to the far end of the property, and these kids would just hang out over there,
Yeah.
And I was just probably think like, okay, there's probably just kids chilling, finding a place to hang out, smoke some weed, whatever,
But you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually went outside and staring into darkness.
Yeah.
And I would scream out saying, "Hey, this is a private property. Don't be blah blah coming here."
Yeah.
And
So they're trying to make you look schizophrenic when you're not.
at the time I was strapped as well, but
Yeah.
but obviously like just to protect myself because I think
Of
my
course.
life is in danger.
Yeah.
But get this, as I screamed out, telling them to don't come over here, I was receiving voice to skull, but I didn't know that. I thought they were sounded like it was, definitely voice to skull was like outside, like in the
Yeah. And how far away did the voice sound?
It sounded like it's just really literally on the other side of the field. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah. So they're fucking with you big.
So and they were responding to me.
Yeah.
They were like talking back to me.
Yeah.
And eventually I was getting irritated. They would talk back to me, and I would kind of tell them. They were trying to get the last word out of every comment.
Yeah. Yes.
I would tell them, I'm like, this is my property. I get the last word. You kind of scream out like that. Be like, don't be coming to my window, just screaming out.
Yeah.
And
what would they say?
after that, it kind of just stopped.
Yeah.
Okay. And I, in my mind, the entire time, I was kept getting these fearful thoughts that they have night vision goggles on and they can actually see me in the dark.
Yeah, that's your.
I was kind of standing by a tree. I was kind of being like manipulated to play this game.
Of course.
So and then I went back inside, but that's only for one night. But there's many nights after that.
Of course.
And then eventually I would hear them when I go to the bathroom. I would hear them on the other side of the window.
Yes.
And one time I was kind of like, and during that time I was also kind of scared, because I feel like they're watching me in every single room.
Yeah.
And I went through a phase of trying to identify anything in the corner of the room that looks different. I would put some tape there, I put some tape there and try to block a certain hole, And
yeah, they forced schizophrenia on you. That's what they did.
But here's the thing: at the time, I didn't think I was crazy. I really do believe.
Hey, you're not crazy, man. You're not. But what they were doing was they were making it so that if anybody were ever to see what you were doing, they would label you as crazy.
Exactly.
That's what they were doing.
And fortunately, I was living by myself. I'm in the private, so
thankfully, yeah.
And I've after that, maybe I don't know how long, how much time, how many days have gone by, but eventually they were getting closer and closer. Like they're on the other side of my window talking now.
More brazen, yeah.
Yes, they were actually talking now on the other side of my window.
And were you realizing that these were no longer human entities?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Let's jump to that moment when you realized that you weren't dealing with humans anymore. Let's go to that.
That literally took me a long time. Seriously, it probably took me about even when I first saw the footage of the ghost, okay, the ghost in the white by my window, outside my window.
Yeah.
I still didn't think anything of it. I only wanted footage of real people
because your rational mind wasn't letting you, right? Your quote rational mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like so much has happened, and it really literally just when I watch TV, I stopped watching TV for a while because when I turn on TV I can hear them.
Through the sorry, when you I remember you saying that in one of your videos. Now when you were saying that, I was wondering, do you mean that the people on TV were talking to you, or do you mean over the people you could hear people talking to?
Somehow they're using the voice in the environment, the sound in the environment,
to
boost their own voice.
Yes.
So they're actually near me, but they're kind of like, I would imagine, by the TV and somehow using that to amplify their sound.
Yeah. They're trying to make it look like it's a worldly thing, technology and not spiritual. Yes, that makes sense.
And in the beginning when I'm driving too, back home from work or going to work on the radio, I can hear them. So at one point I actually thought they were actually through the radio, and there's multiple voices, and then one day there's these two voices that weren't really talking.
Time out. Sorry. it was two voices when I heard them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're in now." It was two voices with me as well. They do that. That's what they do. Listen, I want you to know something, okay? You're being heavily targeted because you're, what can I say? You're dangerous. You're very dangerous to the status quo. You are not what the world would call normal. You're unshakable, but you're also I don't know. It's like you're too trustworthy of what you consider to be real, something like that. So you're being targeted heavy, uh, but at the same time you're not a pussy. So you're willing to film and document what's going on, which is a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing what you're
Well,
doing. And I think like I'm sorry that I came out and I was attacking you at first and all of that because you clearly are a brother. You're going through some terrible shit that no entity should ever go through ever, living or dead or anything like that. But you're handling it with finesse. You're doing a very good job at handling what's going on, but there's certain fundamental things that you're lacking, and I'm not being a dick when I say that, but I feel like you're a very important person, and I don't want you to, you know, become egotistical or anything like that. It's not about building your ego, but I feel like you are. Um, you're a voice of a nation that is suppressed, and you need to stop thinking the way you do about making this book or anything like that because imagine I mean you're a US citizen already. Imagine going to North Korea and writing a book. Do you think North Korea, you're an ambassador of the United States, do you think North Korea would ever put you as an ambassador of the United States on TV?
I, that's one of those what if I don't really want to answer or think about.
Well,
What if I really,
you
what?
should because you have this energy to you, and you clearly have a purpose. You clearly have a purpose, or you wouldn't be harassed so much. Because your targeting is it's extensive, man. Like
I mean,
that's like you're literally you have demons fucking with you constantly, pretending like they're in the corner of the room or outside your bedroom or jumping over the fence and all this nonsense. And like I'm not saying that what you're saying is nonsense. I'm saying what they're making you believe nonsense because you're genuine, you're honest. Clearly, you're honest, or you wouldn't be talking with me about this. You would have logged me off a long time ago. So I don't think you're a perp. At first I did, but I think that maybe you're a little misguided, and I think that maybe you don't want to believe wholeheartedly what's going on with you, which kind of it's sad because you have a big purpose, and I just think that if you could pick up the Bible, man, and just start reading it, you would understand who you really are and what your job is. And it's not to make a book because that book will never see the light of day. You'll get two views, and I promise you, you'll be one of them, and I'll be the other. Right? And
uh,
that's the honest, hard, stone cold truth. That's how it will be. Right? Like I'll never stop I don't want to trigger you or anything, but I'll never stop watching your channel or anything like that. And I'll always hope to be able to collaborate with you and to speak with you because I know that you truly are one of my brothers. But it's we're coming into an age right now where I just met another TI in my city. It took years. It took over 3 years before I actually met another TI, and he's paranoid as all shit. And I understand that. I understand the paranoia. I totally do. But you have a different job, and I promise you, it's not fucking marketing a book or writing a book. You have, um, you have the finesse, the charm, maybe. Yahweh told me one time. I think I already said. Every once in a while, I send a line down to let them know I'm still here. You're one of those lines. So don't. You're an ambassador of Jesus Christ. That's who you are. Don't ever forget that. If you've never watched a video where people are calling demons out of you, I suggest you do that because we are riddled with demons. We
Yeah,
are riddled with them. They're all over the place. So if you watch these videos, you'll start fucking puking, you'll get earaches, you'll start yawning. These are all the demons leaving your body. And I just honestly, I can say to you that I'm grateful that you gave me an opportunity to speak with you. I know you're not fake, but I think you're misguided, and I'm not being a jerk about that at all. I think that you have a purpose, and it's a very strong, important thing that's going on, and you just you're just misguided. And I think maybe you need to focus a little bit more on the Bible and on Yeshua, Hamashiach, Jesus Christ, the Messiah.
I mean, I agree. Thank you for those kind words, and I do agree on reading the Bible. I mean, I'm starting to see many passages in there where just really just talks about gang stalking, the whole
Yeah.
experience of gang stalking, and I I want to mention that how you were saying you met up with someone nearby, a
Yeah.
local tonight, and they were paranoid. He or she's paranoid,
Yes, he was very
and
paranoid.
and let me tell you, this is one aspect of being a TI that's really dangerous. For a true TI out there, if I believe that if a true TI have not discovered or gotten to the point where you and I are talking about right now,
Yeah.
it's more likely for them to work for evil. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes. I noticed that.
because they're able to receive these messages, but they're kept in the dark about what's happening,
Yes.
and they're also, I would say, more of a disinformant.
Yes. Yes. He does it all the time on all of his videos on YouTube,
And
unfortunately.
and, and one thing is, I also, I have been called a perp, and that's not a good feeling because I
No,
don't.
I apologize, man. But that's a part of the job,
Well, I wasn't
right?
thinking about you, but I'm
But
just.
I basically called you a perp, and I'm sorry. And it's a horrible thing to think that they are able to get to that point where they can control us to that extent where we're calling one another perps and shit like that. And yeah, I'm just sorry because it's almost embarrassing because I know what's going on, and yet I still fall into that same trap where it's like, oh, he's a perp because he's not telling these people. But it makes sense why you wouldn't want to say it because you it's not that you're leading them along, but you are, but you're not doing it for a negative purpose. You're doing it because you know if you red pill them right now, they're going to say no, that's not true. I know that.
And like I said, like now that I know it's are these demons. And when I first started this, I would find TI videos talking about demons and spirits, and that just didn't do anything for me. Just no interest whatsoever.
Yeah,
And that's why I kind of just I need to, in my mind, I need to build up my credibility and kind of work my way towards it, hoping that people can actually see it that way.
I noticed that. I noticed that. You would always be like, keep watching, and soon I'll show you. And you would always tell them, like, I remember watching that one video where you're like, how to slap your gang stalkers.
Oh,
Like,
that's
you're like,
great. Have you actually tried that at all?
no, but like I've I don't know if you've ever felt paralysis, sleep paralysis. I experienced that. And one time I experienced a demon like jump on my bed and make fun of me. I was trying to talk to it and tell it that it was a loser. But it's like I was like, I was trying to talk, but I couldn't. It sounded like a baby. I was like, meh, 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 and then it was like in my ear, meh, 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 meh. And
Were
it's
you
like, oh,
talking? Were you talking in your with your mind, or were you trying to talk with your
I was
lips?
trying to talk physically. Well, I couldn't move.
But you could.
I knew that it could hear my voice. It could hear my thoughts. I knew that. So I
Okay.
told it. I told it. I'm like, you're such a loser. I, I
Well,
and I and I tell them all the time. I'm like, imagine your existence must just be terrible to the point where you're like, you're making these silly pranks on us all the time. Like that must be a terrible, terrible existence.
Well,
I still to this day make fun of them all the time.
okay, well, you know what that tells me? That tells me you have that warrior spirit, because
I'm supposed to, man.
yeah,
So
let me
and
tell
you
you,
do
man,
too.
you're like one of those warrior TIs that just talk trash. Like I always talk about talking trash,
Yeah,
like because if you're not talking trash to them, they'll just keep talking trash to you. They'll keep
all the
behaving the same way.
time. Turn the other cheek, shit, right?
And now that I've been talking trash for years, it
Yeah,
actually does work.
it does. It slows them down. It chills them out a bit because they
It,
realize. You ever follow one of them? You ever follow a fucking perp?
do I follow perks?
Have you ever followed a perp? Have you ever parked in a spot that you know if somebody comes down that road, they're 100% a perp?
No, I don't.
I
I don't
I did
believe.
I did that once.
See, I don't recommend doing that.
Mm.
Um,
Well, I kind of do because it helped a lot.
so
But
when you say perp, are you actually believing that there's people they're
yeah,
spying on you?
yes, there are people. That's why I asked you at the beginning. Do you think that these people that are gang stalkers, do you think that they know they are, or do you think that the demons just jump inside of them? There are people that are on this planet that pretend not to know what's going on, but they know full well, and they share their bodies. It's called the hive mind. That's the name of the game. It's a hive mind, and they have a queen bee over them, and these people would follow me. They would actually follow me. So what I did to prove to myself that I'm not insane is I would park in certain places where I knew that if they came in, there was only one exit. And they would come in and they would drive around and they would stare at me. And when I saw that, I would follow them. And when I would follow them, they would stop. And they would pretend like they were going into a store. Then they would go back into their car and start to drive away. And I would pull out, or they would park again, go back into the store. And eventually, police showed up and
Well,
blocked my path so they could get away. Things of that nature.
can I? Okay, just for my understanding, I'll explain my understanding to you.
Yeah,
It's okay. The hive mind, yes, that's you can say that there's a hive mind because they're still connected. Like these information, they know what's going on. The gang stalkers, it is connected to a greater. Uh,
yes,
you could call hive mind. Some call it a relay center or whatever, right?
yeah, same.
It's like an internal. It's like a database. You could call it that. Okay.
Yeah,
Now, and since I said I believe everyone's a TI and the 80% are being controlled, so and I do believe it's more likely what you call it's a perp. It's actually just another TI,
yeah,
but they're not advanced. Well, maybe or maybe not as advanced as like the true TIs I can hear through voice to skull, but
yeah,
they are actually being guided to that location where you are. So that is
yeah.
very possible.
And they
And
think that they're just doing it because just
or
like, hey, let's go here, and then they decide, you know what, I don't want to do this. Let's go here instead, and it has nothing to do with us. I that's why I did my tests was to see if that was the case, and I can say to you that is not what's going on. These people are 100% a part of what's going on, and they've fully chosen to do it. These real human beings are sharing their bodies with the hive mind, and they're a huge collective, and they know what they're doing because of free will. It's all based off of free will and faith. That's the
because
entire situation that we're in. And I promise you that the people that pretend like they don't know what's going on, they're lying to you.
um
There's so few of us that
I
are like you and me. I promise you that. But
I
it's a hard red pill to swallow, and I know that. I know it's really hard to believe that your family and your friends are in on it, but I promise you, you're not of the same blood as them. You have a different blood type and a different spirit, and you were sent down here to experience what's going on, so that on the day of judgment you can be a witness. You're one of the witnesses. People will say it's Jehovah's Witness or Yahweh's Witness, but you're a witness to the atrocities that are going on here. That is exactly who you are. And these people are lying to you and they're tricking you, because I promise you and me are not smarter than 95% of the world. I promise you that. We are being fooled. That's why they put their tongue out and they wink their eye and they make fun of us all the time.
I Yes, I do agree on some of that, and yeah, it's since you mentioned it that they actually know and they're working for them. I do believe there are TIs out there that do receive voices call, but they're so in fear, they're so scared that they would actually do the things that
Did
those
they
voices tell them.
did they ever try to get you to join them? Because they tried to get me to join.
They they never. Well, they did say the only thing I would say is that they told me to let go of my soul.
Oh, that's fucked. They
They
never
have
did.
told me
They never
that.
did.
They
They
told me to
never did
let go
that
of
to
my
me.
soul, but they don't ask me to join them as in, oh, you know what? If you say join as in joining a group, no, they don't do that. But they have tried to tell me to kind of, oh, go do this, go hurt this person, or go,
Oh,
or,
that's fucked. That
yeah.
is
But
fucked.
I would just ignore it because that's not me.
Of course,
Like I
of
always
course.
think those are negative thoughts, and
Yeah,
we have to block those thoughts away.
yeah. So,
And
so, so, so there. Okay, so I'm going to take you to the next level. Okay, and it's up to you what you do. And I'm not one of them, but you're missing some fundamental stuff. And the only way I can do this, the only way I can bring you to the next level is for you to know that you have a position with them if you want it. Okay, and you can literally, and they'll start, especially if you have an Android phone over an iPhone, they'll start talking to you through, um, what do they call it, status updates and things like that, right? Notifications. That's how they tried to get me to join. They got me to download an app called Scout. They got me to download the app called Snap. And this big fat black girl that lived in, um, she lived in the States somewhere, was trying to like, um, she's like, hi, how are things? And like, this is when the gang stalking, like when I realized what was going on, she's like, hi, how are things? And I'm like, they're good. And at this point, I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. And I'll be completely honest, I was being like a little bitch. Like, it's very embarrassing when I think about it now. But she's like, listen, like, I know what you're going through, and you don't have to be afraid, right? It happens to most people here, and most of them make the same decision that you're going to make. She's like, I want you to know some things, like, is it okay for me to say I love you? And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. And I'm being real submissive and real timid. And she's like, okay, because I do. I love you. I want you to know that. Okay. I'm like, okay. And she's like, do you love me? I'm like, well, I don't know you, but I guess I could learn to. She's like, okay, that's fine. And it's this big fat black chick. And like, she's like, okay, let me tell you some rules. And she gave me two rules. She said the first rule is that we take care of our own above anybody else. Do you understand what that means? And I, in my mind, thought, well, that means that even if a family member goes against what another person that's in the group says or does, I'm supposed to go on the defense of that person. So I said yes. And then she said the other rule is you're not allowed to ever expose another member of the club. Do you understand? And I said, yes, I understand. And she said, okay, download this on your Snapchat. And she gave me a code, and it was like, I don't remember, like 263, whatever, 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 dot, dot, semicolon, whatever. And as I was typing that in, the whole thing, suddenly it switched and it said loading, and it loaded a new app, like a completely new app. It was really crazy. And then she talked to me through that new app. She said, this is where we can talk from now on. And I said to her too, like I said, this is kind of crazy. Like it makes me feel special. And she said, oh yeah, you're one in my millions. That's what she said. You're one in my millions. But they offered me to join, which is the Illuminati, 100% clearly, and it was
did they ask
after
you? Did they tell you it's the Illuminati?
they made it clear that they're not allowed to. There's certain rules with this realm. I won't say world. This realm that we're in, they're allowed to influence, but they're not allowed to directly uh, affect what we do. It's all based off of free will and faith.
You know, I believe in that, but they're cheating on that, right? You know, they're already breaking that rule. You know,
100%, 100%. But it's still our free will to decide what we do. So they fill you with fear, but it's up to you to choose what you do. And I realized that. And they kept on like, I'd be like, what do I get? Like, I'm like, I know what this is. I told them, I said, listen, if I'm going to do this, I want to be able to use and experience all the hidden technology and stuff. And then they would send to my phone like a notification, and the notification would say, "I'm sorry, I'm not able to do that for you." And then I said, "Well, what are you able to do?" And then they said, "These beautiful white women are looking to have sex in your neighborhood, but they're not looking for a relationship." I said, "But you know, I'm looking for a relationship." And then that ad would disappear, and it would say, "These beautiful white women are looking for long-term relationships. They're willing to have sex, but you need to make sure that you're committed." And then I would say, "You know, I don't like white women." And then it would say, "These beautiful Asian women are looking for long-term relationships." And then I would tell them, I said, "Look, you know, I don't care about that. Like, because of you, I've lost my job. I need money to pay for my car. I need money to pay for my rent." And then they said, "Congratulations, you just won $100 gift card at Walmart." And then I lost my shit. And I said to the phone, when it notified me of that, I said, "Listen, the only things that I care about are my family and my comfort. And those are actually the two things that you've taken away from me and haven't brought back to me." I said, "I am not joining you." And I got up and I took my SIM card out of my Android phone and the SIM card out of my Android tablet. And I prayed to Yahweh and I said, "I'm so sorry for everything I've done. Clearly, I know that this is real because if Satan's real and they're trying to do this to me, I know you're real too. Please forgive me and protect me tonight. And I promise I will preach the gospel." And I went outside and then I was gang stalked more than you've ever heard, ever, anywhere, ever. I
like,
was experiencing the worst of the worst, and it was terrifying, but I was protected. And all I can tell you, this is we're in a system where we're trapped. We were tricked to come down here because the women are so beautiful, and we are the fallen angels. And if we're not that, then we are ambassadors of Christ, and we have a job to do regardless of what the outcome was and why we're here. And all I can say is we're not the smartest, and we're not the we're not at the top of the food chain, but we're protected heavily by the Most High God, and our job is not it's not what we think it is. We're supposed to be doing all the work that you're doing right now in order to get to where you think you're supposed to be. That work that you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing. And you're not supposed to be focusing on where you're trying to go. That is who you are. You're an ambassador of a country, of a foreign nation, and we're protected. And that's why they don't actually physically fuck us up, because God, they would love to fuck us up, man. They would love to just rip us apart. They would love to. And that's why they let us sin all the time. That's why they let you buy that weed. That's why they let you buck lines below if you do that. I do that. And that's why they do all of that. That's why they send honeypots after you, because they're trying to make you sin so that you unintentionally choose not to become uh, a part of the kingdom of Christ, which you are currently a part of. But they're trying so hard to stop you from being that. And shit, I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. I don't think so. I read in the Bible that He'll forgive us for everything that we do wrong, because we're in the end times and everything is screwed up right now. But that is the honest truth. You are here to do what you're doing in order to get to where you think you're supposed to go, and you're not supposed to go where you think, but you're supposed to keep doing what you're doing. If that makes sense, I
yeah,
hope I hope it makes sense.
I understand. Yeah, and you know what? Every time I make a video, like during the making of a video, I would get attacked.
Yeah,
But,
of
but,
course you would, because you're
but
you're you're spreading real knowledge from the heart, man. Like I know I talk a lot, but it's I just have all this information and it gets shot into my head like crazy. But I got to tell you, man, like you're a little cocky, but it's because you're a fucking lion. You're a lion surrounded by hyenas, and it only takes two of us to fuck up an entire pack of hyenas. And that's what's happening right now. Is we're at this point where you have the mark of the beast, and the whole world's pushing it, and that with the vaccines and all that shit, and then you have us who are standing firm, hard, and
Well, the world right now when they research gang stalking and target individuals, they just see us as crazy. And
of course.
and
But what do you expect?
I mean, yeah. But here's, like I mentioned before in one of my video, even hearing voices, it's not, to me, it's not crazy.
No.
But what makes a person crazy is by their action.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna behave a certain way out in public, then that would be crazy,
Yeah.
But hearing voices alone does not justify being, schizo or crazy.
No.
And even for a doctor, they don't qualify to diagnose anyone as schizo unless they actually were schizo, and then they kind of come out of.
Yeah.
So therefore,
a man is not. What is the saying? A man is not decided by his words, but his actions. Something like that, right?
Yeah. Yes, correct. That's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think even going to a doctor and telling him or her about hearing voices, like that alone, the doctor shouldn't label that person as schizo, because it's still, the person is still operating, like anybody else. It's just their action is not considered crazy.
Brother, what's your name?
What's my name?
What's your name?
You want to know my name?
Yeah, I do. My name is David Wallace Sinclair. I live in Langley, British Columbia, in Canada. My address is 21081 72nd Street.
Well, I appreciate you giving out the information, but I would prefer to hold out until my book comes out.
Come on, man. Be brave.
Be
who you are.
There's other reason behind that, because
fear. It's fear-based. It's all fear-based.
That you could say that's a form of fear.
100% it is.
And
come on, man, you're a lion. Anybody who's your enemy knows who you are. They already know your name. But you know who doesn't? Your family. I don't know your name. But you know my name. It's David Sinclair.
You will know my name when the book comes out.
Do you want to make a podcast together?
A podcast? I mean, if you want to set up a time, I'm down for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like doing more live stream, and
yeah. I say let's make podcasts like Zeph Daniels does, but let's do it as a team. Let's start inviting other TIs into the party. Let's because I feel like we're at the age now where we're supposed to be connecting. That's why you and me are connecting tonight. That's why I met the other brother who's terrified and completely paranoid. But
you can email me if you want to do some type of timing, scheduling. I mean, that'd be good. You got my email through the.
Yeah, I will. I totally will, and I will totally do podcasts with you. And I'll do it daily. I'll do it weekly, whatever you want, because I 100% feel like you are legitimate. I feel like you are still sadly run a little bit by fear, which is you're a lion. You're a lion, buddy. You need no fear. Who cares? The entire world knows who you are, but like I said, your brothers don't. Right? You're only hiding yourself from us, not from them. They all know who you are. So there's that's why I show my name is David Sinclair. I am who I am. Right?
It's like I thought about releasing my name like right now.
Yeah.
But it's just I want to wait till the book comes out.
Scary.
Because it's just I have other things to think about, and also I do get threats from other people.
But you're getting threats already, man. You're already getting the threats.
But here's the thing, though. Once my book comes out, when my last video comes out, that would actually shows that I actually do know my stuff. You see that? You see what I'm saying?
I can tell already.
If I release my name now,
you know your stuff. You know your stuff. Listen,
Why
at
use
the
my
at the
name?
end of the day, that's fine. We'll call it. I don't know how to say that. It's seventh Hanuman.
Seventh Hanuman.
Seventh Hanuman. What does that mean?
You can it's you can look it up. I think that'll be better. Better
No,
if you
come
look up.
on, man. Just tell me, dude. Come on.
I will tell you video 39 because that's going to be one of my video explaining why I came up with that. It has a it has to do with my experience, one of the experience I went through with
Yeah.
these entities. You could call it possession or whatever, but it's a very
No. It's
intense.
oppression, not possession. It's oppression.
Here's the
You're
thing
being
though.
you're
Here's
being
the thing. Here's the
oppressed.
thing. It was different. It was when that happened. I had this euphoric high, and my mind was operating at a different level. Like the things I was saying was very short, but yet very wise and philosophical.
Yeah. Do you ever feel the fuzziness on your head? Like when people talk about tinfoil hats, you ever feel that feeling?
I can sense whenever something's on my body. I can just feel it now. After
Yeah.
all these years.
Does it feel like tingles like in your forehead?
Oh, I mean that feeling is there, but sometimes mostly it's heavy attack. Like after a while, I actually feel discomfort.
Yeah. So Yahweh, like our Father, the one who protects us and sent us here, he in the Bible, if you read it, he says that he's hardened our foreheads. So even though you might have experienced that feeling once or twice, he lets you know that it's there. But once you recognize what it is, he stops it from happening anymore. So I feel like you're so close, like you're really close, but
Wait,
you
let me
still
stop. Let me stop. I will show you my last video what that means. I will show you.
yeah, show me, man. Like show me, like I want you to know that I am your friend. Like I truly am your friend. The only difference between you and me, and I'm not like tooting my own horn or anything like that, is that I am 100%. I live my life based off of faith. I sin. I still sin. I still drink. I still do cocaine a lot. Um,
Wait, let
I'm
me stop
not.
you. The way I see sin, it's having evil thoughts.
Yeah. I have evil thoughts when I do drugs. When I'm doing cocaine, I have very evil thoughts.
Well, then you need to practice on. You can't stop those thoughts from coming in because they're not from you.
But
But
it's
then,
from me doing the drugs, so I can stop it. I can stop it when I stop doing drugs. So it's my own fault. Again, it comes down to freedom and free will, right? And it's my own fault for dabbling in the dark arts. And that's what I keep saying is that's the whole point of this. And honestly, I think if you and me made a podcast, buddy, I think that would reach the masses. And I don't mean the people that are like us. Like our brothers and sisters will find us no problem. But I think it will start to reach the ones who pretend like they don't know what's going on. I think maybe that's what your purpose is. But I think you need to get over the fear because you're protected. You've gone through so much stuff. Like brother, you've been gang stalked in ways that like most people, if it wasn't somebody like me, they would say you're nuts, right? We can agree on that, yes or no?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I know the truth. I know 100% you're not fucking crazy. You're not crazy. You are more sane. You're like Neo or Morpheus. You know what I mean? Like you see behind the veil. You see the truth of what this world is, man. So, and you've been
Well,
protected the entire time. The entire time you've been protected. Has anybody ever hit you or punched you or anything like that?
well, I mean that's kind of irrelevant now. But I just wanted to say I appreciate you saying those things, but saying that I'm protected and actually really being protected are two different things. But it's a good positive way to think, though. I mean, I don't
Have
think
you
about.
have you been hit? Have you been physically hurt?
Um, it's not been a while, I guess. Maybe when I was a kid, maybe yeah.
Yeah, sure. When you were, but once you woke up, never again.
So far, I haven't. So thank God that haven't happened.
Of course, yeah. Thank you, Yahweh. Thank you. Jesus. Of course. Of course you haven't. Because now you're a lion. You ever go into a place, or maybe you're gonna take the SkyTrain in your town, or what, public transportation or something, and there's somebody that keeps on looking away from you and looking at you and looking away, and they look terrified? Have you experienced that? Have you experienced like utter terror from somebody that you've never met before? And you could see that they were just absolutely terrified of you.
Um, I don't really think that way when I'm out in public.
That's not how I don't think that way either. But I've experienced that. I've experienced complete utter terror from people that would look at me when I was taking an escalator or an elevator, or they needed to get away from me, and I could see it on their face. They were absolutely terrified.
Well, that's interesting. I wouldn't say, I would say no. I haven't experienced that. Look at
Okay.
someone and see that they're terrifying me
Do
because
you keep
I'm
your eye?
trying to be.
Do you keep your eyes to the ground a lot?
I mean, I look at them and I don't stare at people. I don't have like a staring contest with someone.
Of course not, because you're a good person.
Yeah,
You're a human being.
but
You're not one of these.
let me tell you. Lately, my through voice to skull, my gang stalkers do tell me that people out in public that they are also manipulating them to think that I'm the one talking trash to them. Kind of like they're a
Yeah,
TI as well, but especially like bums. If I walk by a bum, like they would try to because I
a
know a lot.
lot of homeless people are in on it. Yes, that is sadly the truth. But you ever watch the movies John Wick?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so watch that movie again and think about it from your perspective. John Wick works for the underworld. Okay, those people that help him when he goes to the Continental Hotel, and the black dude's like, John Wick, it's good to see you again. That's a demon. When he's getting the weapons from those other people, those are demons. These are all demons that are helping him do the evil, because it's free will and faith that the whole world's based off of, and that's showing you the seedy underworld. When in the second episode of John Wick, when he goes to that homeless person and says, "Here's a gold coin, take me to him," and the guy hides him. That's what it is. These people know 100% what's going on, because there's three different species on this earth. There's you and me, which are human beings. There's the hybrids, which are half serpent, half human. And then there's the serpents, which are 100% serpents. Those are the fallen angels. Those are them. Plus, you have the actual full-on angels, but they're so secret that you can't count them as a part of what's going on in the world. They're always there, but they're never there. But like, they keep you safe, which is their job. But you can't really communicate with them much,
I gotta tell you
unless.
something. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
I was gonna say reminded me earlier when you mentioned the blood.
Yeah.
There is one thing I do believe. I do believe true TIs are Rh negative blood type.
RH negative, typo negative. Yes, that's exactly. And our blood, you know what it smells like to them? It smells
No,
like fresh baked cookies. Do you know what their blood smells like to us when we're like 100% pure? It smells like death. It smells like pig's blood. And I've smelt it before. And it's
like rotten
terrible.
eggs. Have you ever smelled rotten eggs?
Yeah, like well, that's when you're smelling an actual demon. But when you smell like an actual like worker of Satan that's alive, it smells like rotten blood. I don't know how to explain it other than that. You can also sometimes smell it from bread that has yeast in it. That's another one. Dead yeast that makes it rise. You can smell it from that. Sometimes you can smell it from wine as well. Uh, Usually that's associated with like kidney damage is when those senses kick in.
Well, they
Uh,
also show me that they can manipulate. They can like somehow manifest smell because there is
yeah,
this
they
one
can
flower.
absolutely. Go ahead.
There's
Sorry. Go.
there's this one flower that I really enjoy the smell. It's a fragrance. It's a type of magnolia flower. The white
Okay.
with a certain really sweet fragrance.
Let me look it up.
It,
Magnolia.
yeah, magnolia. There's a variety of them, but it's just a type of magnolia. I don't know which type, but it's a white flower. It
Oh, what
smells.
a beautiful flower! What a beautiful flower. The interior is kind of pink. sometimes yellow. It looks like what a gorgeous flower.
There's many varieties out there,
Yeah,
but
I can see that. It's very
so I was
gorgeous.
at work. I was wearing my mask, my face mask, and
Oh man,
all of a sudden I would smell this magnolia, that same magnolia smell, and you know where I work, there's no
no,
trees or
there's no
flowers.
way.
And
Yeah,
yeah, and I'm wearing a face mask. There was no one around me. I just smelled it,
yeah,
and that happened a few times. So I know they can actually manifest
yes.
smell.
They can 100%. Yes. A lot of people who are coming out of the Catholic faith, when the demons realize these people are waking up from what is going on, they smell roses, which is associated with the Virgin Mary. And that seems to pull them back into the faith. Like, oh my God, I can smell the Virgin Mary because I can smell like 1,000 roses. And that pulls them back into the illusion, right? So that happens a lot too. Um, you're definitely a brother. You certainly are.
And I know we talk about demons and stuff, but to be honest with you, I see them as just aliens, man. They're aliens.
Well, sure, but aliens are anything that isn't normal, right? Anything that's not natural. They're not extraterrestrial. They're interdimensional, and that's what they are. But they are aliens. I agree. They're the grays. They're the reptoids, the insectoids. They're all of them. They're fuck, dude. They're the um, the Sasquatch. You know what I mean? Bigfoot. That's them too. They're skinwalkers would be the best way. Are you native? Would that be a good, like, are you native or Chinese or what are you? I'm Scottish and native.
I'm Chinese.
You're Chinese? Okay, so do you have like a version of the skinwalkers?
I I mean, Skinwalker. To be honest with you, my gang stalker on my property. Actually, I watched a documentary on the location
Yeah,
Skinwalker.
yeah.
The gang
Skinwalker
stalker.
Ranch, right?
Yeah, the gang stalkers here told me that place is nothing compared to this place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what my gang stalker told me.
Yeah, man, I can believe that.
And when I
Like,
watched that documentary, I mean, it's just it doesn't really intrigue me. Actually, I know a lot of stuff that happened. I could relate to the information. It's kind
yeah,
of like similar to what I already experienced here. And I seriously believe this property here is a very a good place to be filmed for paranormal activities. But obviously, I don't push that or nothing. Like, but
yeah.
I just feel like from watching other paranormal stuff, like this place is really strong.
Yeah,
And
no, I could see that. Of
and there's
course,
a creek.
you're
Let me
you're
tell you,
dealing.
there's a creek nearby. Okay, a creek it connects uh, two towns at least. Okay, two other towns,
Yeah,
and and this area dates back at least uh, 4 to 5 thousand years with the Native American tribes. So it's people's been here for a while, and you know how people back in the days they like to live by water. So
of
this creek
course.
is their main source of water,
Yeah,
and anywhere I know anywhere along creeks, there's high level of paranormal activities because I mean there's a lot of history involved. People they die on these properties, this area, and just that's a long time for a lot of dead people, dead spirits. And and so that's what I learned that if you're gonna buy a place, you gotta understand living out in the woods. There's a lot of paranormal activities. Living
of
by
course. A hundred.
creek.
Man, I live in Langley, BC, which is basically Vancouver, British Columbia. It's a rainforest. I know. Hey, listen, I just jumped back onto YouTube and turned the volume down so I could hear you without the echo. And this guy with the W name. Do you understand what the importance is with the occult with V, X, and W? Do you understand what that means?
No.
So V plus V equals W. When these people like you ever seen the movie Vitch, where it's like witch, but it's a V and a V, and they put it together and it makes an X in between the two V's, but it also makes a W.
Uh, can you repeat
You
that
have
again?
it's yeah, no, I know it's a it's a lot to take in. Okay, so this world isn't run by language or laws. or anything like that. It's run off of signs and symbols, right? And if you can understand the signs and symbols, like what 369 means, what pi means, the Fibonacci sequence, what W means, what V means, what X means, things like that, then you understand the world, aka the universe, right? So I just jumped onto our YouTube that we're speaking on right now, and there's this W, and he's like, "Don't give your name, don't give your name. David doesn't seem trustworthy to me." This person right here, this is a perp, 100%.
Um, I if that's how you feel, I'm not. I I wasn't even thinking that far. I mean, I just kind of
Yeah,
just.
do you want to learn some stuff? Can I show you some things that maybe you don't know yet?
I
Do
mean,
you want to look?
I can't say I understand what you mean by VXW because I'm not familiar with that information.
Yeah. Do you want to learn like some? Do you want to learn some of the language of the Illuminati that Yahweh is? Let me know.
Um, you know what? I mean, if you want, how long would it be? Because I did not expect this live stream to go for so long.
Within 10 minutes, you will have a
Sure,
complete understanding.
sure.
Okay, so you're on a computer right now.
Yes.
Okay, so do you remember the movie I, Robot? We'll start the school right now. I, Robot, the movie.
With Will Smith.
Yeah, with Will Smith, man. Good movie, right?
You know what? It's been so long, I can't really remember much in detail, but
But you remember that it was a good movie.
it was from what I remember. I have nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah. And what about the movie Elysium? Did you see that?
Elysium.
It had Matt
Is that
Damon
with
in it.
Matt
He put
Damon,
that.
where they out in space?
Yeah, man, put that exoskeleton on him. He kicked a bunch of ass, saved the whole world.
Yeah, I remember that movie. Yes.
Yeah. Good movies. Okay. Okay. So let's start off with. Do you want to go with Hollywood or do you want to go with gang stalking? You pick.
No, well, you tell me because you said you're gonna.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, so open up another page on your computer there, and look up iRobot um, police badge. Let's do that. Let's see if that works. BADGE police
On Google,
badge.
I'm on Microsoft Bing.
It doesn't matter. Either one. And then go to images. That's all you got to do. It'll work the same way, no matter what.
Okay.
Okay, so iRobot police badge. So this is the badge that Will Smith had in the movie iRobot, and in the movie he was a detective, and his job was to find and arrest or apprehend criminals that killed people. Right, that was his job. Right.
Okay.
Okay, so did you open it? Did you look up iRobot police badge? And
Yes,
then go
I
to
see. I see. Batches. One of them says 4084D.
right 4084D. Okay, so now open up another page that's blank and type in the word Strongs, Strongs, and then after that hit space and then put the badge number in there. 40 what was it? 4081?
84D, right?
4084. You don't have to worry about the D. Just
Okay.
4084. 4084. And then hit enter. Strongs, STRONG, space 4084. So now that's going to open up, it's called the Strong's Concordance. And what it does is it tells you what the meaning of each word was in Hebrew or in Greek, because the Bible was written in Hebrew scriptures for the Old Testament, right, which is God's laws and things like that. And then the Greek scriptures were Jesus when he came in to fulfill the law. So click on the Greek scripture, Strong's Greek 4084, and then you'll see the definition, you'll see the way to say it, you'll see the usage of it. Go ahead and tell me what the definition is and what the usage is.
To lay hold of, to take. And usage is I lay hold of, apprehend, catch, arrest.
That's right. And then at the bottom, it will say world origin, definition, NASB translation. What is the NASB translation?
Caught, seized, ceasing.
And what is it that a detective does?
Catch. Seize
He
and
catches, lay hold of, arrest. Exactly. And that is the badge of Will Smith's character.
okay,
And in the movie, that's what his job is. He's a detective, and his job is to catch, lay hold, arrest. Correct?
okay.
Okay. So we can agree that that's quite the coincidence, right? That doesn't prove anything yet, but it's quite the coincidence. Yes?
Um, I mean, to me, I would just think that the writer or the director knows about it and think it's probably put it in there. Yeah, sure. There's some correlation in there. Yes, there's a
Sure.
meaning, definitely on purpose.
Definitely on purpose. 100% on purpose. Okay. So Elysium. That's the movie with Matt Damon with space, and he puts on that exoskeleton in that movie. Probably one of the best movies made in the past 20 years, I would say. Right?
It's a good movie. Yeah, good movie. I,
That's
I I
great.
can't. I'm not. I don't like to. When someone asks me what's my favorite movie, I mean I can't really think of one because there's so many good
You
movies
know what
out.
mine is? Fight Club.
Fight Club is good. I mean I like Lord of the Rings trilogy. I also like the
Funny,
Matrix.
The Lord of the Rings is insane because that's what the world really honestly is. Like
Yeah,
that is exactly what the world really is.
I
You
like the
have
Matrix. The
the
Matrix trilogy.
oh man, have you seen the new Matrix?
I have HBO Max, but no, I have not started yet.
Oh man, I can give you. I don't know. I mean, in America, it's illegal to stream. I think movies that you don't pay for, but in Canada, it's legal. So maybe I should give you the website, but it's here.
No,
It's legal to do that.
I don't stream off any site. I don't for free because I don't.
It's
I feel
illegal
like
there, but here it's legal. We're allowed to, which is really weird. I think we're one of two countries in the world that's still allowed to do that. Okay,
I wasn't thinking about being legal or not. I was just thinking more like the malwares and stuff like that. Like because
yeah,
there's a lot of random stuff installed if I go to sites like that.
yeah.
That's just
Elysium.
me. That's just me. I mean,
No,
that's
no,
just
no.
me.
Dude. If I was in Canada, I wouldn't be streaming anything either. One, it's illegal. Two, yes, you're gonna get a lot of malware. You might as well be looking up porn, right? Same
I
thing.
mean, yeah. So
Yeah.
what was the other thing about? So continue with
So,
your.
okay. So Elysium. We're gonna go to the movie Elysium now, and so we're 5 minutes in. Okay. So Elysium robot. Let's see if that works. I'm just trying to do it with images.
Spell
Elysium.
Elysium.
Elysium. And I agree with you. It's ridiculous how to spell that. Elysium. I'm just trying to find the video. Elysium radiation. See, maybe videos. I'm trying to find the part where. Okay, so look up Elysium radiation scene on YouTube. Uh, you should find it. It's by movie selection. Fast forward it. So in this part of the scene, he is told if he doesn't, there's a malfunction with the machine that he's using inside of this warehouse, and the guy says, if you don't go in there and fix it, I'm going to fire you and get somebody else to fix it. So he's like, fine. So he goes in and he tries to fix it. Okay. Are you on YouTube right now?
I'm looking at it. It's the thumbnails with Matt Damon, and there's some like tagging on the wall.
Yeah, let me just here look on our YouTube that we're talking on. I just sent the link right now. So if you just copy and paste that, you can see what I'm talking about.
I can see. I'm watching it right now.
Yeah. So okay. So watch for the part. I guess it's a minute and 45 seconds in, where this robot comes to take him out of the situation that he's in, and then when the robot lowers his head to grab him, pause it, and you'll see a number on the head of the orange robot. What is that number
I
that
mean,
you
it's
see?
probably going to be 4084, right?
No, it's not. It's not. It's a different
It's not.
number.
What number is it?
It's 72.
Why
Okay.
72?
I'm going to show you. It's a language that they use in front of us to make fun of us because they think that we would never be smart enough to know what they do. But Yahweh made sure that one day we would know the truth because he would tell us the truth and it would be our
How did
job
you, sorry, how did you discover this connection?
through Yahweh. He showed me.
He's the one
God.
that told you.
Yeah, he led me through to all of this, all of it. He
So
showed me.
are you saying you're receiving voice to skull?
No, I'm not receiving. No, you know how you can tell the voice of God? You hear it all the time. You just don't recognize it. It's that quiet, small voice that's not intrusive, but it's very quick, and it sounds like a thought. It's not a voice; it's a thought, and
So you
it sounds just like your normal thoughts, but it's not intrusive, and it will never force you to do what you're supposed to do. It's almost like a suggestion because of
it's like
free will and faith. So
it's
you
like
hear it,
your own guy or something, your own personal like guy that's been with you your whole life.
yeah, and it sounds like your own thoughts. Like you know how your thoughts sound different than the voices you hear?
Yes.
That yeah, but every once in a while you'll get a thought that comes into your mind that is very quick. It's very fast, and you just know that you didn't think of it. Like you'll go to a store or you'll go to a bar and somebody will offer to buy you a drink and you'll know not to drink that drink because you had a thought in your head, this person's going to drug me. That's not you. That's God. That's
Okay.
God. So
I mean I
that's what his voice is. So you hear it all the time. It's just nobody's ever told you that you've heard it before.
I
And
understand what you're saying. It's the good positive voice that's kind of
no, it's not a voice. It's
so
not a voice at all. Not a voice.
you
It's
don't
a
hear it. You don't hear it. It's like a feeling.
you, no,
It's
it's a
a thought.
thought. It's
It's
a
a
thought.
thought.
Like when you're thinking to yourself, should I go to pee now or should I wait? It sounds like that, and it's in the background, but it's very clear and distinct, but non-intrusive. That's the
I
voice. That's the
I
voice
tend
of God.
I tend to identify only when I receive thoughts where I know it's going to be good for my life. Like, don't
Yeah,
procrastinate or try to remind me, oh, I got this thing I got to take care of.
that's the voice of God.
That's
Exactly.
the one I'm talking about. Yes.
That is
Now,
the Holy Spirit.
we're vulnerable. We now I talk about a lower voice to skull.
Yeah.
We're actually being vulnerable. We're being attacked by other voices that are really
Do you know how you
thoughts.
can tell? You know how you can tell if it's good or bad?
Just I usually go by positive or negative influence on these thoughts.
Exactly. If it's good for you and good for others, right? If there's nothing wrong with what the thought is, you know that's from God.
And
If it's a voice other than your thought, it's bad immediately. And if it's a thought that makes you do something bad, like call somebody a cunt or whatever, then that's clearly not the voice of God
that's
either.
interesting you brought that up because I had that thought before. Like I had that debate with myself. Okay, so a good person considered uh we a good person would see evil as evil, but then a evil person will see good as evil. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's so how can one tell which voice what's positive and what's
If
negative?
it's good for you and for them.
Exactly. The way I see it is as long as the decision do not cause pain to another individual or
Mhm.
suffering to another individual.
Exactly. Listen, man.
No,
Listen, I love you, man. I love you.
all
Okay,
right, cool, man. Thank you.
so
Hey,
listen.
but David, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I really do. I have to be somewhere in the morning. I have to go, and I did not expect this long of a live stream at all.
Yeah,
This is
it's been great.
it turns out good, but do feel free to email me if you want to have any future, like you mentioned, future stream. I'm down for that.
What I'm thinking is we should honestly have podcasts. That's what I'm
Yes,
thinking. I think we
yes,
should podcast together, and I think maybe what you should do is instead of making a book, is you should do transcripts of it, like a reading of, right? Kind of like your thoughts, like a journal that you read to people, that kind
yes.
of thing.
I do keep a journal, and you know, just go ahead and email me, and we'll go from there.
I will 100%, man.
All right. Well,
Um,
thank you for your support, man. Thank you for joining in, and I appreciate your time, and I enjoy this conversation with you.
awesome, man. Just remember, Satan's a faggot.
Yeah. I don't like. I talk trash to Satan, the devil, and Lucifer, uh, and that's just me. You know, that's just what I do. I mean,
That's what we do.
and I guess I will talk to you later then.
I will definitely contact you later.
And thank you for anyone that's listening. And have a good night.
Take care, man.
All right. Good night. Bye.